Hello, everyone. Welcome to our fifth Roofless Dog and Pony Show. My gosh. My name is Julio, and I am the dream alchemist at Roofless Painters, and I'm going to be the host of this presentation like every week. The Roofless Dog and Pony Show is a live, non-scripted, unedited presentation / rambling featuring the conceptual and stylistic inspiration behind our painting webinars that we do every single week. What we do, we introduce the premise, the painting premise. We talk about the inspiration behind it, and we do so by mentioning contemporary art notes, the art history references, and a bit of commentary. So here's a disclaimer before we start. We're not grammatically perfect, and we love making up new words, so we may not be 100% intelligible. In other words, we're very current with our time. I just saw today an amazing speech by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, aka AOC, but we should know her name. She was on the floor of the House today, replying to some nasty comments that she received this week. And it's a speech that's 10 minutes long, and I highly recommend you guys watching it. She speaks so clearly, and so she's so intelligible. I just love the speech so much, and that's gonna be my goal in the next 10 years, because she's an amazing speaker. And we haven't triple fact checked all of our sources. We did our best. So if you know something that we don't know, please let us know, and we stand to be corrected always. So we'll present a few slides first, and then whoever's watching today, we will get your comments or questions if you have any after the presentation. We'll just also post this video on our Instagram and on our YouTube channel. So I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, and let me just introduce the painting premise or the series, and we titled it Dearest One, because we were saying that after 17 weeks being confined and not being able to be outside in public areas, gathering with our beloved painters, our amazing community, we realized that we haven't dedicated one of our painting sessions to our beloved pets, the beings that live with us, that put up with us, and that help us go through these trying times. So I have no idea why this hasn't come up, but it's week 17, so I think this is about time. And the image that I selected was very intentional. This is a photograph of Mickey Rourke and his dog. I forgot the dog's name because he has so many, but it's an old photograph. We are obsessed with Mickey Rourke. We haven't met him. We don't know what kind of person he is, but we love how much he loves dogs and other animals, because he has birds and also other animals. So I'm gonna bring, this is it, you guys. We're gonna do pet portraits, and we called it Dearest One because I think pet portraits has such a stigma, and it shouldn't have that stigma of being lowbrow art expression. Maybe that's the reason why we waited so long. What I'm gonna do, the premise is, this is it. Pet portraits. If you live with a pet, take a picture of your pet. Will work off of photographs. It could be current or past if you have had a pet, and if you are not a pet parent for any reason, so then maybe an animal from a friend of yours that is a pet parent. So anything counts. So I brought amazing, incredible, exciting, and hopefully interesting images of paintings throughout contemporary, I would say 18th century to now, paintings of pets by different artists. And I'll just show you these images in hoping that you guys get inspired, because portraits have been part of painting. Let me just kind of like start with the oldest one if I can find it. I mean, this thing is just like a yeah. So this painting, Jan van Eyck, 1434. It's a famous painting of a wedding, and my face is covering the bride's head, which is perfect. So I just wanted to say that one of the interesting parts of this painting is the little dog in between them both on the floor. And I love this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I love this painting so much, not only because it's so weird, but also because there is a mirror in the back, but because of this, if you can see it in the slide, of this dog. I'm going to jump to Eduard Monet. This is Bob the dog, and it's a cropped, let me see if I can find the better slide. Bob the dog. We were so lucky. Yeah, there you go. We were so lucky to see Bob the dog by Eduard Monet at the Getty Museum, the Getty Center. Last year, there was an exhibit about his work. I think it was towards the end of his life, the latest or the last 16 years or 6 years, I believe. Yes. And it was one of my favorite paintings in the show, Bob the dog, but it wasn't just one of my favorite paintings in the show. There was another, let me see if I can bring it. There was another painting by Eduard Monet of his wife, the second most favorite painting in that show. I don't know if you can see this, but the way he painted his wife, it's just unbelievable. This is a fairly large painting compared to Bob the dog. And we love the hatching brushstrokes. When you get up close to the painting, it's basically, essentially an abstract painting. There's barely any paint on the canvas, but then when you step back, you see this incredible figure. And then he added all the detail on their cat. Another example, this is like late 18th century, actually what I'm talking about, 19th century, right? Yes, 19th century, turn of the century, really. So Eduard Monet, I'm going to bring another painting. This artist is controversial. We love some of his work, but we don't love him because he was a monster during his lifetime and he treated people very badly. But this is a Pablo Picasso painting. And this painting, it is from, I don't have the year, A Woman with a Black Cat. I remember seeing this painting a long time ago, and I just thought it was hilarious and interesting, and the cat looks fantastic, and the woman, it's not happy. She is not very happy, but I just love the fact that Picasso just painted a portrait of someone having a cat on their head. So another example, and I'm showing this as ideas or mostly famous portraits of pets throughout modern art history or recent art history, knowing perfectly well that these paintings have a human in them. Does it mean that in this series we can paint ourselves holding our pets? That's an option. We've done a few self-portraits, but if you feel like you want to feature your pet and you with your pet, so yes, that's perfectly okay. So this is Gustave Courbet. Yes, Gustave Courbet, whatever is pronounced. It's a painter of the famous I'm in a blank right now. The universe. What's the painting's name? I forgot. But I should know this because I talked about it just last week. The Center of the Universe. Anyhow, he has a famous painting of a close-up of a female genitalia and the center of the universe. I think that's the name of the painting. Well, he's done other work, and I never seen this painting by him. This is a self-portrait with his black spaniel. Let me see, I have my notes here. I have a long list of paintings. Yeah, it is self-portrait with black spaniel, Gustave Courbet. Yeah, the center of the universe is the painting, and I just love his flamboyant stand. So another great painting, and this is also 19th century. This is a Renoir and Child with a Cat, 1880. Renoir gets really bad reviews these days. I don't know, for stupid reasons, but I love his work, and I've never seen this painting before, and I think it's a very sweet, interesting painting. I love the color palette and the composition and the way the figure is it's painted. John Singer Sargent, one of our favorite painters, created this painting of Miss Beatrice Townsend by John Singer Sargent, and I don't have the year, but it's also late 1900s. I mean, late 1800s, probably. Yeah. I've never seen this painting before, but I just love the Yorkie. This is a painting by Francisco de Goya, a Spanish painter. I don't have the title of the painting. It's one of his duchesses. He did a lot of portraits of royalty and noble people in Spain. And I love this Maltese with a pink ribbon on the back leg. So I just brought it. I absolutely love this painting. I cannot change my little square over it. So there's a cat on this lady's shoulder. And the title of this painting is Sita and Sarita. And it was painted by a female painter, Celia Beau, 1921. And she's a not very well-known painter of the turn of the century, beginning of the 20th century, but she should be, because she has an extraordinary work that is resemblant of John Singer Sargent's work. So I've seen this painting. It's in the National Portrait Gallery in London, I believe, and it's just incredible. You could spend hours being in front of it. And the most fascinating thing about this painting is that the figure or the face is not facing us, the cat is. So I love that aspect in that conceptual aspect of the painting. This is Pierre Bonnard, 1984. No, yes, 1984. Pierre Bonnard, White Cat. Bonnard, French artist. This is very late in his life, but I just love the way the cat is rendered. So proportions, who cares about proportions? We're not a proportion-based painting group. A fantastic muted color palette, and I love the composition. And Bonnard has incredible he's famous for his sense of color, and I love the muted palette in this painting. And this is if I have the name, Woman with a Black. No, it's not. I just already said that. This is in the 1800s, 19th century. Yeah, Marguerite Gerard, another female painter, a lady with her cat. And I know this is the 1900s. I mean, I'm sorry, 19th century. So I just go back and forth. I love this painting as well. And sorry that the painting, let me see if I can bring, yes. This cat is huge. So that's why I decided to bring it in, because of the size of the cat and the expression of both figures. I just think it's really fun. I love this painting so much. I've never seen this before. This is titled The Bachelor's Party by Louis Wayne. 1939. And 1939. It reminds me of The Last Supper, but the cat version of The Last Supper. So yeah, that's all I've got about this painting. I'm going to study it a little bit more, but I just think it's really interesting and funny and hilarious. And 1939, I've never heard this painter before. Louis Wayne. David Hockney. This is Mr. and Mrs. Clark and Percy, painted in 1970. David Hockney still does paintings of animals, and so he has a few examples later than this piece, but this is one of his famous group portraits that he did in the 70s when no one else was doing something like that. Very classic. And I just love the cat on the guy's lap, on Percy's lap. And I have got I think that's all in regards of like paintings. Yes, I think that's all. So what I'm gonna finish this presentation. I'm gonna keep it very short this time, with images of Mickey Rourke and his dogs, just because why not? I love his Instagram account so much. You guys should follow him. He's a complete and utter mess, but I think, but I just love I just love seeing, and he posts images of small tiny senior dogs, and I just can't resist just showing some of those images. He credits one of his dogs for saving his life when he was depressed at one time. He said he spent most of his days inside of his closet, his house closet. He didn't want to even leave the closet, and he was contemplating suicide. And then he saw his dog and had an epiphany revelation, and decided that he could not live this life and leave his dog by himself. So on the 2009 Golden Globes acceptance speech, which you can go ahead and Google it, you're gonna hear him talk about a bunch of things, but he reserves a few seconds to thank his dogs for saving his life. So I absolutely love that about him. And there are paparazzi pictures of him going all over the place, all over town, holding his dogs. He eats with his dogs on the table. He brings high chairs for his dogs. He feeds his dog spaghetti, and he doesn't care what he looks like, and he doesn't mind anything. And I think that's very inspirational. This is how I feel sometimes. We have two small dogs, and they are everything. These are different times during his recent life, and this is when he went to an Italian restaurant, and he sat this dog on a high chair that he brought and ordered a plate of spaghetti and fed his dog spaghetti. And I don't know if I have the photo or not, but I will show it to you because it's amazing. One of his dogs with a pink blanket. I want to paint this because this is as amazing as Marguerite Gerard's painting titled Lady with Her Cat. I just find that this image as inspiring as that. And I had a bunch more, but obviously something happens with this Instagram live and they didn't show up. So I'm sorry that I don't have the image of him feeding him the spaghetti to his dog, but you should definitely... Oh! Not quite that one, but having lunch and dogs on the table. So this was when restaurants were not allowing dogs. You can see that he's much younger here. So thank you so much. And we have a decent amount of crickets watching this. So if you have any questions, hi Lois. Loris in Dumont, Jen, you're a lifesaver. Yes, these things are nerve-wracking, so my brain goes poof and forgets about everything. L'origine du monde by Gustave Coubert, whatever it's pronounced. So thank you for that. Any questions that you may have? We have seen our dogs pop up in our paintings before in this past 17 weeks. Lois, you were one of those painters who included your lovely furry kid on the chair painting. So I remember that painting vividly, and that made the painting for me. So we're excited about this. We're going to work off of photographs, as I said. So it could be a current photograph, or it could be a photograph that you really, really love. Some people are going to pay homage to the pets that have passed away, and that's another way to memorialize their time with us. I'm going to do that with our lovely Ozzy, so I think that's going to be my project. So I'm going through photographs of him, and I'm going to choose one and use it as a subject for my painting. And yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. We're gonna post. I love that we're ending this mini presentation with Mickey Rourke having a Coke, a Diet Coke, and feeding one of his dogs. And shout out to all the pet parents that have been taking care of their pets during this time, because our pets have changed their routines, and this household is nuts. Sleeping times, eating times, they're all over the place. So it's not a perfect situation, but that's just one part of the story. The other part is that thank goodness for them, because we love to hold them, sleep with them, and then forget about the whole nonsense that surround us. So, yeah, record-breaking 5 people watching this. Thanks, everyone. So, and thanks for your support. We're going to break the record next week. Every Thursday, we have the Roofless Dog and Pony Show, where we present the painting premise for the series of the webinar that we teach on Fridays. Everyone's welcome. Sign up online. Doesn't matter if you have the materials or not. You can use whatever drawing medium and join us. And yeah, so you have now the inspiration. So, all right, I gotta go. Bye, everyone. Love and peace, and love your pets.